Welcome to the Careers by Jen podcast, episode 263. On this episode of the podcast, Jen's topic is tips on how to stop procrastinating. Not right now, of course, but maybe later. See how it goes.
You're listening to the Careers by Jen podcast. I'm your host, Jen Swanson. This is the podcast that helps you to get the job, love your work, and advance your career. Careers by Jen is a listener-sponsored podcast, and if you like the content, please consider supporting the show as a patron. You can do so for as little as $1 a month. Head over to careersbyjenn.com and click on support to learn more. Hello and welcome to the show. I did not put out a podcast last week. Maybe you noticed. Maybe you didn't notice. But it wasn't actually because I was procrastinating, although it could have been. I was very busy and I had too many things to do, too many things on my plate. And as I promised myself a while back, I wasn't going to push it. And so I decided not to begin at 9 p.m. on a Wednesday evening when sleep seemed more of a priority. And I think the product that you are getting today is all the better for it. So that is why there was no show last week, but with 262 other episodes out there, I figured there was lots to go back and re-listen to or explore if you are new here. I am, however, an amazing procrastinator. I would rather do laundry or wash a toilet or do all sorts of other things than settle into addressing my inbox or getting things done that are really big and really important on my list. And as Scott sometimes says, well, those are justifiable distractions because rather than being non-productive ways of procrastinating, like reading comments on Twitter about the heart-wrenching and horrifying events going on south of the border, or obsessing about the latest COVID-19 statistics, doing laundry or washing the toilet is justifiable because it's at least useful. At least then we have clean clothes or a more sanitary bathroom to live in, etc. But why do we procrastinate, I wonder? What is it that will cause me to rather do some, other non-fun or interesting things than to do what would actually benefit my work? What would cause me to think that way? Well, one thing to know is that procrastination is not a moral flaw or a character problem. Many people suffer from procrastination. Let's look at the word first. As a former medical terminology instructor, apparently I can't speak very well today. As a former medical terminology instructor, I like to break words down into their component parts. I like to understand words. I love words. And so I thought I would do that with this word. The word procrastinate can be broken down into parts. The prefix pro means toward or forward. If you are pro something, you are for it, right? The root cras, C-R-A-S, means tomorrow. And the Latin word crastinus means belonging to tomorrow. So when we add the suffix ate on the end, we end up with a word that means toward belonging to tomorrow. Toward belonging to tomorrow. Some dictionaries even get more specific and they say deferred until the morning, which sounds good to me. Because as I record this, I have decided that it's far too late to get on the treadmill now and that I should just defer my workout until tomorrow morning. But why would I want to do that when whatever I'm putting off is to my benefit in the first place? Well, there are several reasons for procrastination, and I am going to offer you 7 of them right now. So some of these might resonate with you and some might not, but let's take a look. The first one is lack of motivation. This is a big one. Now, motivation itself is not a sustainable way to create a new routine or make change or create a new habit because motivation is a fickle character. It depends on many things. It depends on the time of day. It depends on your mood. It depends on visibility. Who's actually watching me do this thing? And while it's very important to feel motivated, it's not a very reliable technique. Habits are far more reliable because they create grooves in your neurology and they are ingrained. If you're habituated to doing something, then you just do it sometimes automatically. But motivation, on the other hand, is fleeting and is not reliable. So one way to beat the lack of motivation is to create habit. So get up and put your workout clothes on, even if you're unmotivated. Do that first thing, or put the thing that you've been avoiding doing on the top of your to-do list and tell yourself that it must be done before you can do any of the other more interesting things on your list. Maybe give yourself a deadline. Maybe you have to have this thing done by 10 o'clock in the morning, or maybe it has to be by noon. Situate yourself in the location, the physical location, best suited to getting the thing that you are avoiding done as well. The thing about it is your brain is very, very, very good at protecting you. And procrastination is avoidance of perceived pain. And so your brain is doing its job. It's very happy to support and to assist you in not getting to that painful thing. And so what you have to do is trick it. You have to trick your brain and make the thing that you don't want to do unavoidable. Because the amazing thing is how good you feel once you've actually done it, once you've actually accomplished that thing, once you've crossed it off, once you've done your workout, once you've got your report finished, whatever it is that you don't want to do, that you're procrastinating about, you feel really, really good when you've done it. So it's important to trick your brain and stop it from doing that protectionist move. So lack of motivation, that was the first of the 7 things. The second thing is getting the easier tasks done first because they are easy. Now, it's easy to justify doing all these little things first and then, oops, look at that. I've suddenly run out of time and now I just can't start on that massive task, an hour before I'm supposed to leave or my workday is over. I'll just have to move that over to tomorrow's list. Darn. Now I do that spectacularly. And so what I suggest doing is the reverse. It's like eating what you don't like on your plate first and saving the more delicious, tasty stuff for last. It's counterintuitive, but it's so much more satisfying in the end. So just take whatever that task is, put it first on your list, get it out of the way, and then you can finish off your day with the little easy things and feel much more satisfied by the end. The third thing is feeling overwhelmed and maybe having no idea even how to begin. If you have absolutely no idea even how to start this thing, if it's such a huge task, you can feel overwhelmed and just go do something else. Now, this is really, really common. I have experienced this particular reason for procrastinating, particularly during COVID, when I had to learn so many new things in order to take my work completely online, my other work. I had to learn new technology. I had to figure out the procedure for doing things that normally I could just do in person. I had to figure out, we had an online meeting with 35 or 40 people, and I had to figure out, well, how do you facilitate something like that? There were just so many things. And I remember one day I spent hours trying to figure out how to have words appear next to me in a video clip while I was talking. I wanted words to drop down into the space beside me, sort of like Sesame Street, right? It was something that in the end lasted about 2 minutes in total. But you would not believe how many hours it took me to watch YouTube videos on how to do it and figure out my software, and a task that sometimes just thinking about made my brain hurt. Like, how am I going to do this? But luckily I had a deadline, which was really helpful. Have you ever had one of those days? I have a massive inbox, as you may have heard from a couple of podcasts ago, with that coach that was I was interviewing. I have a massive inbox to deal with. I have email to answer, and the list it's endless. And sometimes it's easier to go out in the garden and pull some weeds because, there are always weeds, but really. So I completely and utterly understand the monumental task of getting started on something big when just thinking about it can be paralyzing. So that's number 3, feeling overwhelmed. And by the way, that's what a coach is for. If you are thinking of transitioning to a whole new career path and you have no idea how or where to even begin, consider engaging a career coach. Blatant advertising here. I have some spots. I can help you get from I have no idea to I love my life through a step-by-step process that will beat the procrastination monster and get you on your way to making your move. So if that's of interest, book a clarity call with me and we can see if we're a fit to work together at careersbyjenn.com under the work with me section. You can do that. But honestly, that's what coaches do. And it doesn't matter what the task is. There's a coach out there for you to help you transition from stuck to unstuck. And so I really encourage you to find somebody to help you if the task is just so overwhelming that you have been paralyzed for far too long and you dream of seeing yourself on the other side, but just can't figure out how to get there. That's what a coach is for. All right, that was number 3. Number 4 is fear of failure or fear of success or fear of the unknown. So fear in general, fear is so common. Now, the fear of failure, I have failed a lot at a number of things that seemed like brilliant ideas at the start and then fell flat. I don't know of any business person or anyone in leadership or anyone who is a creative who has created things, products, who has not had some fail. You see a successful person and those successes are all built on the failures that have happened. I don't particularly want to go there again, so I can avoid the whole thing by not even trying, right? Now that's a good strategy, except that I want to be successful. And if I don't even try, well, then I will never know what success actually feels like, will I? Now that's the fear of failure. There is also something called the fear of the unknown, and you might be the kind of person who wants guarantees and wants to know exactly how every single step of the process will play out. And so until you know that, the whole thing is just too scary. Fear of the unknown, fear of risk, fear of uncertainty. And there are people out there, if I'm not guaranteed that this thing's going to work, I'm not even going to try because then I won't fail, right? What a trap that one is. And then the third part of this number 4 fear thing is that there is the fear of success, which is real. What if it doesn't work? And then what if it does work? And then I have a ton more of this to do. What will that be like? Can I pull it off? What if I'm feeling like an imposter? What if I have to produce this amazing thing again? Athletes who win medals are under this pressure because, oh no, now I have to do it again. Authors who write best-selling books, oh no, my next one has to be even more spectacular than the first one. Directors who direct movies, etc. If you're feeling like an imposter, then listen to episode 257 if you're interested in imposter syndrome. The fear of success can be equally as paralyzing and real and can cause procrastination as the fear of failure or the fear of the unknown. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. So those were all the fears wrapped into number 4 out of 7. The 5th thing is shiny distractions. I love these. I love shiny distractions. Who wouldn't rather watch funny cat or dog videos or go for a walk or have a good chat with a coworker about the camping trip they went on last weekend, or find a new place for lunch break, or do some online shopping for some funky new shoes or awesome clothing that you don't actually need, right? Shiny new things are so fun. And yes, they are a serious temptation and a great method of procrastinating. Shiny things are a minefield for getting stuff done. Because have you ever had a day where you end up at the end of the day and you think, I was busy all day, but I have no idea what I did, right? How many of those shiny distractions did you follow? So that's number 5. Beware of shiny distractions. If you really, really want to get stuff done, turn off your notifications. Be diligent with yourself about only focusing on the thing that needs doing. And then once you've done that, you're accomplished and you can go for all the shiny distractions you want. But get the actual thing you're procrastinating about done first. The 6th thing is lack of interest. I just don't want to. I'm still in my workout clothes that I ever so diligently put on this morning. And have I gotten on that treadmill yet? Nope. I just don't want to. Right? If you are uninterested in the thing that you have to do, it's far easier to do all manner of things, including washing toilets or reconciling your bank statement, that are not the thing that you are supposed to be doing. It's so easy. And so again, and I need to listen to my own advice here, you need to trick your brain. I need to tell myself that the second this episode is recorded, I can't go anywhere but straight into that workout room to get on the treadmill. That's it. I'm going to tell my brain that. I've also been told that it helps to do what we call in NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, future pacing, which is telling yourself you look forward to the satisfied feeling of having completed the task. So for me, I look forward to feeling accomplished and healthier after my workout. I look forward to being able to hand in that report to my manager. I look forward to being able to cross that thing off my list. So my question for you is, what will you look forward to after having done the thing, whatever it is, this thing that's hanging over your head right now that you're procrastinating about? What will you look forward to about having completed that? It's a good exercise to fill in that question, fill in that blank. And only you can answer that. That's number 6. Number 7 is perfectionism. Now, I see a lot of people not launching a podcast, not making a career change, not enjoying the benefits of having done the big task that's hanging over them because they are afraid that the time is not perfect, or the product is not perfect, or the result will not be perfect. And I don't know who said it first, but there is a saying that I love. Done is better than perfect. I love that saying. Done is better than perfect. Get your product or your podcast or your report or whatever it needs done. Get it out there. You learn as you get feedback and you grow from the experience. Take the first step. Then you will have started, right? Tell someone else you are starting, and then you have accountability, and then you have something to look up, to live up to. If you've told somebody you're launching a podcast, if you've told somebody you're making a career change, if you've told somebody you've started working on the report, now you've got some accountability, and somebody else is expecting you to do such a thing, to do that thing. And so that's one way. Don't worry so much about perfect. It's often not possible for things to be absolutely perfect anyway. And so just to start is to be one step closer to your goal of having this thing done and off your list, whatever it is. If you don't start because things are not perfect yet, you may never start. And then whatever it is you're putting off ends up being a regret. And honestly, a life of regret is a terrible one. It is not a nice place to be. So don't go there. Oh, I'm ending this on such a dark note. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. All right. 7 things. Perfectionism, lack of interest, shiny distractions, fear of failure, success, of the unknown, feeling overwhelmed, getting the easiest things done first, and lack of motivation. Those are 7 of the reasons why we procrastinate. There are probably more, but 7's a good number. I like it. So there are 7. And so know this, you can change this. This is not a reflection of who you are as a human being or what kind of what kind of person you are. This is not a moral thing. We all experience procrastination at some point. It's really common. And the good news is it can be overcome. You can beat this thing. So, dear listener, what are you going to do today? What are you going to do to take the first step to getting that thing, whatever it is, done? What is one thing that you can do right now as soon as you turn off this podcast, after you subscribe and share it with your friends, of course? What is the one step you're going to take today to move you toward getting that thing off your list? And while you're thinking about that, I'm going to sign off because I now have to go get on that ugly old treadmill and get my workout off my list for today. All right. Well, until next time, stay healthy, be kind, and take good care. You've been listening to Careers by Jen with Jen Swanson. If you like what you heard, please share this. If every single person listening today shared this episode with just one friend, our audience would be twice as big just like that. And the more people we can help with our content, the better. So help out a friend and help grow our audience by sharing this show with someone you know who would benefit from the content. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do that, and together we can make a difference. Until next time, take good care.